It was a bone-chilling winter that year, and a snowstorm had my always cautious mother on edge as me, her, and my aunt were driving down the interstate. My mom was already white-knuckling the steering wheel as the phone rang. It was my dad. His voice was unusually unsteady as he just kept saying, "You need to come home. You need to come home. You need to come home, Cheryl. You need to turn around." And after quite a bit of bickering and countless refusals from my mom, my dad finally hung up. But then he called right back. I could see my mom's big brown eyes begin to well up, and her breath got short. No, 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 no. We're coming home. And across the median and back down the interstate we went. I could feel myself begin to panic at this point. What began as a whisper in my mom's voice crept into a wail. 2 Marines are in the house. 2 Marines are at 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 the house. She just kept saying it over and over and over again. And I could feel the blood rush from my face, and my heart was pounding in my chest like a quick drum. I'd never in my entire life seen my mom's face look like that before. She was shocked. She was panicking. It was like my mom was in another world. I retreated. I put my head between my knees, and a word vomit of useless prayers began to spill out. I was in a state of shock, and I was the most afraid that I'd ever been in my entire life. When I hugged my brother for the last time in the August heat, I prayed that day and every day after that I'd get to give my big brother a bear hug when he returned in the February cold. But as we got home, poured ourselves out of that van, the looks on those 2 Marines' faces told us that the unthinkable had already happened. It was Friday the 13th in the month of January in the year 2006. I was 14 years old, and on behalf of a grateful nation, my big 19-year-old brother Kyle had died. It was like this kid was born for the Marine Corps. An Eagle Scout who backpacked the trails of Philmont, a young Marine who learned to navigate the wilderness and saw strength from discipline, and a boy who'd convinced his younger siblings to play endless hours of capture the flag in the yard and conduct battle scenes in the living room with wrestling action figures and Barbie dolls and every single generation of G.I. Joe known to man. Those memories are few and far between now for me, but they're ingrained into my soul. And I envision those memories and the few others that I have like them as I forced oxygen into my lungs just over 15,000 feet, as in hours before me and 13 other surviving military family members prepared to summit to Uhuru Peak, the big summit of Mount Kilimanjaro. I'd really been struggling for the last 24 hours, nausea and the fog of altitude brain setting in. But as I nuzzled myself into my sleeping bag in the afternoon, surrounded by my fellow survivors, also snuggled in their own sleeping bags, bracing the harsh winter winds, the fog began to lift just long enough for me to get what I needed. I could see my big brother Kyle's unforgettable smile as he knelt down to tie my boots, teaching me with each loop. I could see my living siblings cracking jokes and reminding me to find joy as they bundled me up with layers of love. And I could see my parents' faces looking back into mine with pride and encouragement. I knew that while I had to physically get myself up that mountain, I wasn't alone. I had an entire support system at home rooting for me. I had an entire support system on that mountain rooting for me. I had spirits in the wind rooting for me. And when it came down to it, I was rooting for me. Every TAPS expedition I'd facilitated, every experience and challenge I had faced had brought me to this moment. Every hour in the gym and on the trail had led me to the tallest freestanding mountain in the world, a beacon of glacial expression upon the equator. I already knew what real suffering was. I'd already experienced hardship in the harsh winter winds that day 13 years ago. I was ready for this. So up we went. My feet felt like cement bricks. My stomach like a boiling volcano. My head inflating like a balloon. And my mind like an old burnt CD with one song left without scratches and skips. My tune? Keep going. Take another step. Keep breathing. You are worthy of this. And as my feet shuffled the final steps toward my summit, I felt myself begin to weep uncontrollably. That mountain gave me something I've been seeking for the last 13 years of my life, the last half of my life that I've lived without my big brother. It was above the clouds that I had an awakening. I could see every experience behind me and ahead of me through the eyes of a woman who chose to take another step when everything in my mind and body told me to stop. I'm strong because I choose to be. And when I cannot see that within myself, the ones around me help me carry the load until I can take another step on my own. Standing on the rooftop of Africa, looking out at our incredibly breathtakingly beautiful planet, looking out at the curvature of the earth, I felt my existence transform. Death brought me here. And that awakening, I realized, was just the beginning. What I've been trying to turn the page on, what felt like my entire life, was actually woven into the binding of my life's book. The life and death of my big brother, Kyle, is ingrained in who I am today and who I am to become. I am his living legacy, yet I am so much more. I'm a survivor in the wilderness of grief. Thank you very much.